So just kind of replay the last one of like all the history and know what all this means and everything.
Same questions again. Answer them the same way.
Is that crazy? I mean, it did dawn on me. I mean, obviously things happen in sport, but we're sitting there talking about what this means and all the history and all, and then you don't even get to fight.
Yeah, it's I've had like 50 fights, 50 pro fights, and that's never happened to me. So I guess there's a time for everything.
Yeah. When did you find out? How did it all go down with you? Find out you weren't fighting?
I was in the back and saw not necessarily saw him collapse, but saw everything kind of go down, and then the paramedics come in, and Sean Shelby came up to me right away and said that Bobby was sick and going to the hospital. So kind of knew at that point that it's like slim to none that something was that the fight was going to go on. So. It was just kind of a waiting game. It took a couple of hours for them to finally make the call. Yeah.
So what was your strategy? I mean, is it let's try to stay in shape and book something right away? Is it now we need some time off? I mean, what was your play from there?
Try to book something right away. I just didn't really want to fight. I know there was a card like 2 weeks after that, and after the weight cut, I didn't want to do that again. Like fly back to Jersey and then literally a week later fly back here. So that wasn't part of the plan. So fortunately Sean was able to bust his butt and get me a fight. A couple weeks, or it took 10 days. So it was about 8 weeks since then, something like that.
Yeah. So physically, I mean, was this a good length of time? It did give you a chance to, like you said, kind of stay in shape, but at the same time not put your body through a weight cut again, right?
Yeah. It worked out pretty well. I had a good couple weeks of training. My weight was low, to begin with, so there really wasn't any struggle with that, and I've been feeling good the last couple of weeks. So it sucks being on the sidelines for 8 months, but whatever. Like shit happens. So I'm ready to fight and feeling good. So.
Nice. What'd you think of the matchup? I mean, I don't know if it's a guy you knew. I mean, I know he's on the East Coast scene and stuff. Did you know much about him?
Know a little bit about him. Yeah, know he's a very good grappler. So it's a fight that I've had plenty of times. I mean, I've fought guys who are credentialed, better credentialed grapplers than he is, and I've subbed out guys who are better credentialed grapplers than he is. But you throw strikes in the mix, and you throw the fight atmosphere in the mix, and a lot of that shit just goes out the window. So. Yeah, it's a fight against a very dangerous up and comer, a bit younger than me, guy that's chomping at the bit to make his name in the division. So it's a place that I've been before, myself as him, and it's an opponent that I've had before as well. So it's just a fight, At this point, it's like, yeah, man, there's been quite a few at this point. So I get fired up for every one of them. I'm excited to come out here and go through this stuff, like trying on new outfits and stuff, get size for the new fight kit, or do the shadow boxing and the posing pictures over and over and over again. But it's part of the deal. So at this point it's like you kind of miss it when it's not there. So I enjoy every experience that I can get when I have the opportunity to fight.
That's awesome. Last thing for me, what's the plan moving forward? I mean, obviously a win here. Do you want time off because you kind of did like back-to-back camps, or do you feel like, hey, if we're in good shape and we're good, let's just keep rolling? What's the idea?
I don't like the long layoffs, honestly. I would like to fight, come out of this one healthy and fight on the McGregor-Poirier card. I think that's a good time frame for me. I can ease up for a couple weeks and then just not get too like out of shape or put on weight and just get right back into the grind and keep things going. So that's my plan. We'll see if we'll see if the stars align and the matchmaking can work for me and we'll go from there.
Just a quick one for me. When you're at that stage and you're about to fight, and then you suddenly realize it's not going to happen, the opponent's out. Can you talk to me, what does that feel like emotionally? Because you put lots of physical and mental effort into getting to that point. When you realize it's taken away from you at that late stage, what is it like to just sit there and be like, oh my God?
It sucks. It really sucks. You know, I enjoy it. You know, like there are plenty of fighters that have said in the past that they don't like fighting. I do. You know, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it hurts, and you know, and it's sometimes it's not that much fun being in it. But like I've accepted that it's going to be painful. I've accepted that, you know, not every night's going to be my night. But like I look forward to every one of these opportunities. You know, it's just. I could sit here and say, you know, and run my mouth and say all these things that I'm capable of doing, but I can only prove it one way, and that's by stepping into the octagon. So I look at every opportunity as that, okay, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the, you know, the perfect fight. This is going to be, you know, where I show something that the UFC fans that haven't seen me do yet. That, you know, like, oh, well, I've been doing this for years inside the room, but, you know, in the 30 some odd times I've had you know, made the walk to the octagon, it just didn't come out, or the opportunity wasn't there. So, you know, I kind of look at every fighter as a you know, every opponent, right, as an opportunity. They have a certain skill set, and it's an opportunity for me to show off what I'm capable of. So. I mean, when it comes down to, like, you know, Bobby not being able to fight, that sucks. Like, it really does suck. You know, like, I feel for him. You get sick, you're dealing with stuff. Everybody has to deal with things, you know, like, you can only control so much. But yeah, it's like, it really blows.
You mentioned looking forward to it. And there's guys, Jim, just like yourself, the veterans, the Dominic Cruzes, Ronnie Yaya still doing their thing. What's been the key to your longevity that you can still compete on the big stage on ABC on Saturday?
Just stubbornness. You know, I mean, yeah, I just, I've always kind of listened to my body, you know, even when I was younger in training, you know, and it's definitely as you get older and you start to, you know, kind of stack up some of these injuries that just don't go away. You know, I've been lucky enough to not really have anything devastating, now, knock on wood. But, like, you know, there's plenty of things that, like, you know, my knees, my back, my neck, everything's banged up to a degree. But it's like, I know what I need to do to fight and to be dangerous, and that's to, you know, be training a certain way, and that's to just, you know, to go hard. So I've listened to my body over the years and taken some time when I needed some time. You know, like, what the hell fight was that? That was when I fought Yancey. When I fought Yancey Medeiros, it was like 10 days out from the fight, and I ended up getting the most ridiculous, like, whiplash injury. I was the last spar of camp, and I had it on film. I was sparring Mickey Gall, and he threw a hook or something like that, and I closed the distance, and I just tweaked my neck a little bit, and I was like, that's going to hurt later. You know, so I, like, finished the round, and I was 10 days from a fight, and I could have continued to try to, you know, push it and push my body, but it was like, no, man, I just need to take a couple of days and just let it relax for a little bit. And fortunately, you know, I went through the fight and was able to, you know, it didn't get aggravated, but I was in a pretty rough spot for a couple of days there, and then I did end up re-aggravating it after the fight. But you know, it's just like you got to kind of listen to it, and I've had really good guidance over the years from you know, one of my mentors, Martin Rooney, and, like, he's coached athletes in just about every sport, and, you know, I've trained with NFL combine guys and stuff like that, and, like, I look at the way that they train and the way that a majority of us train, and it's like day and night. How much more, like, scientific and calculated they are and what they're doing, where it's like, hey, you know, oh, I'm your jiu-jitsu coach. Well, we're gonna push you hard today. Well, it's like, no, I just did strength and conditioning. I just got my cardio work. I should just be doing technique. And, you know, like we definitely mash things together, and there's still aspects of our training that I don't think have evolved to the level of what the sport has become. So, you know, like I've been trying to do that, and it's hard because everybody loves sparring and rolling. You know, that's the tough part. So, but it's really just been, stubbornness of being in there and doing what I need to do.